Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/getstarted. That's GREENLIGHT.com/getstarted.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure. Cool. What's it called?
The Bandersnatch. It's Bandersnatch.
Oh, I actually have that one bookmarked. Yeah.
On Netflix.
What? No, I thought we were talking about Pornhub. What? Nope.
Hey guys, you hear the news?
What? Wait, what news? What are you talking about?
Well, I started a few lobbies in the last year to get some things outlawed, and it just came through that all of the bills have passed.
Outlawed? Like what?
Well, for starters, Noah, cigarettes. Those are gone.
What the fuck? You did what?
Yeah, don't worry. I've got a carton right here that I'm willing to let go for, say, cool $1,000. That seems good.
Dude, that's like $5 more than normal. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Good. And Heath, Scotch, outlawed today, buddy.
How dare you, motherfuck?
Yeah, don't worry. No big deal. I have this bottle of Lagavulin 16 I could sell you for, what do you think, 10K?
Gimme. Okay, I bought it. All right. Last bottle, got to pace myself, and it's gone. Damn it.
Okay, and Cecil.
Tom, I don't drink that much, and I quit smoking years ago, so I don't know exactly what you're gonna...
Yeah, but I had him ban straws. No more straws.
What the fuck? I love straws. God damn it.
I could let this box of bendy ones go for...
How about I never tell people about the,
These are yours. These are all yours.
Good.
You can have
Thank
these.
you.
These bendy straws because we're friends.
Yes.
These are yours. And Eli.
What, Tom? What? Did they make pedophilia and cocaine illegal? I mean, what, man?
No, I just I have your money for the photos, man.
Oh, how much you have?
11,000?
Can you throw in a box of straws? Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts. Because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. I'm Beans and Toast Bosnick, and I'll be whipping up this ether frolic, but I'll need a band of maloinks to juice up the wiggle wow. First up, two wingo wangos who would never give you the banana oil, Cecil and Noah.
I am a pass, I guess? I don't know. I'm not...
Go chase yourself, you zazzled warp. Don't grief up Eli just because he knows his onions. This is what it sounded like when we still let white people make our slang. You can see why we outsource it now.
Yeah, it's better now. And also joining us tonight, two heavies who know where Jimmy Hoffa is bowling, Heath and Tom. Okay, Eli, who is Jimmy Hoffa in your head? Actually, and more importantly, when is Jimmy Hoffa in your head? 19th century. He's the guy, the hockey player who makes the donuts.
Yeah, I don't understand this setup at all, but if the question involves the location of someone's balls, I'm going to go with Heath's robot mom. Is Heath's
too soon? Too soon. I don't like this running gag. That conference didn't get that much publicity. Don't worry about it. Now, before we begin tonight, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons. They toss us the dosh that helps us make the bathtub gin that's currently in your tumbler. If you'd like to learn how to join their ranks, be sure to stick around till the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Heath, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today? All right, in honor of the centennial anniversary of the ratification of the... I don't even want to talk about it, but the 18th Amendment, we're going to be talking about Prohibition in the United States. And Cecil, you dropped the spectacles on this yellow slash. Are you ready to spill the Thor Ragnarok?
At what point did you run out of slang, Eli?
About 10 minutes before the record began. So, tell us. 19th century. Cecil, what was Prohibition?
All right, well, it's going to be hard to do this enormous topic justice on this show. There's so many things that I would have to leave out, and And in fact, a lot of things that I'm going to mention could have their own show dedicated to them.
Okay, great. And if the things you leave out are boring, I'm sure that Noah will pick those up and run with them, Cecil. So never fear for cutting those out. Good.
All right. So the temperance movement in the United States started out extolling the virtues of moderation of alcohol. It was happening since the early 1800s. The movement then went on to promote moderation with lower content alcoholic beverages and renouncing distilled spirits.
Boo, nerd. I'll drink 60 O'Douls if I have to. I don't care. I'll switch to NyQuil and cocaine, whatever the fuck it takes.
Then still later, it promoted capital T total abstinence when it came to alcohol.
Okay, all right. You can renounce my liquor cabinet all that you want. You can call it names. You can insult its dubious parental lineage. But the fact remains, gentlemen, that I own not one, but 2 Globe bars. And no amount of vitriol will thin my good spirits.
I don't want to spoil anything, but hey, eventually America rejects the idea of temperance. I don't know if anybody noticed.
Entirely, just the whole...
Alcohol had long been part of human life and daily social activity. For several thousand years, people from all over the world had partaken in drinks with lower alcohol content, like wine, beer, mead, cider. And for several hundred, Western civilizations had been imbibing distilled spirits. But America did have something of a drinking problem.
I don't know. It sounds like drinking had an America problem, if we're being fair.
Yeah.
It's only a problem if you admit you have one. The first step is stubborn denial.
I'm very calm, very relaxed.
Okay, Cecil, on a scale from 1 to Heath, what kind of drinking problem are we talking about here?
No, we said no putting me in scales. We said that earlier.
Okay, on a scale from 1 to pre-divorce Tom, what are we talking about here? You know that like 2-month period?
Well, alcoholism was on the rise. Alcohol-related deaths and diseases were also increasing.
Also, fun was increasing. Good stories that aren't boring as fuck were increasing. Let's paint the whole picture, Cecil, to be fair.
And drinking alcohol was considered a masculine activity at the time, and so these problems were mostly affecting men.
Except when those drunk men beat their wives to death, yes.
Very, very true, very true. And this was also a time where women had few rights and few opportunities to provide for themselves. So there was a lot of families that were in turmoil because of alcohol and alcohol abuse. One stat in this article is that, on average, before Prohibition, Americans consumed 1.7 bottles of hard liquor every week, which is 3 times what we consumed on average in 2010.
Oh, no, that's because... Nope. I see what you're doing, Cecil. I see. I'm not going to let you suck me into a fucking Louis C.K. rant. I'm not doing it.
Heath, I don't think anybody's arguing that now is better than Heath, MAGA.
Thank you. Thank you? Wait.
I mean, guys, have you seen the old-timey pictures of the women in the 1800s? Like, just using beer goggles wasn't going to do the trick, although...
Oh, Jesus.
After 1.7 bottles of hard liquor, no one's going to do a lot of tricks either. So.
Root beer goggles don't do much, no.
Most of the drinking establishments had a majority of male patrons. The saloon was not the kind of place that women would frequent. I mean, sure, there were women, but they were working women. It wasn't the kind of place where you could bring the family for wings and some pub grub on your way home from church.
Fun fact, bars are still not places where you should bring your family for wings. Just a fun...
Hard agree. Hard agree.
What are you talking about? Monday night at Bishop's, 10-cent wings for my whole childhood.
You were saying about drinking more than 1.7 bottles of alcohol a week?
That's like a little bit a day.
Nope, not a little bit a day.
How much is... Okay. I don't want to talk about it. I'm very calm. I don't want to talk about it.
If they have pretzels, it's a restaurant, though, right? That's it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
And if you have pretzels at your house, you're drinking with friends.
Reading descriptions of these places, I got to say, they sound fucking awful. These saloons sound like a sausage party in the old-timey restroom at Wrigley Field, the one with the piss trough. Disgusting.
Right, okay, so we're saying a piss trough built into the side of the bar is bad. You say first. Bad idea?
Heath,
I'm pretty sure anytime humanity reaches piss trough, it's time to cut ties and start over.
Oh,
no,
no,
amazing. A
With
piss
you,
trough
Eli.
on the side. Come on.
I like the piss trough. It's a nice opportunity
you.
to establish dominance through awkward eye contact. You guys-
The Irish guy is establishing dominance at the piss trough.
I said with eye contact.
It's all about eye contact. Tom gets it.
Yeah.
Here's the fun thing to do. If you're ever at a place with a piss trough, you come in and you go, ooh, they have a slip and slide here. You'll get a good laugh. You'll get a big, that's a good
So
one.
saloons at this time were often funded by breweries. The brewery would basically purchase the establishment, and the saloon keepers sold their products exclusively. The brewers were something of a political powerhouse, too. They formed a lobby in 1862 to combat the Prohibition movement. They called it the United States Brewers Association.
Yeah, their first logo is two brothers fighting themselves to death in a Waffle House parking lot.
Most of the breweries were German, so they were just like constantly invading each other. It's just the whole thing.
There's also this weird tension between the states and the federal government around alcohol. For the federal government, the sale of alcohol brought in a lot of tax money. This was a major revenue stream for the Fed. It was something like 1/5 of the tax income at the time.
Jesus.
At the same time, many states were signing on with the temperance movement and banning the sale and manufacture of alcohol. Maine banned it in 1851, and it was dry for 5 years before the repeal of that law. Around that time, 12 other states followed suit.
Yeah, they actually invented cold fusion for 5 years in Maine, but then they forgot how to do it. So kind of ruined the whole thing. Just like a parking lot full of electric wagons powered by cold fusion sitting there in Maine.
I love that, like, we make decisions on public health issues based on how much money the government is either going to make or not make.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great system. If anyone needs me, I'll be filing for medical bankruptcy. That's
Well, eventually, we all will.
So,
yeah.
do we know why these conservative assholes were trying to ruin every party ever? Just like a power thing? What's going on?
When we look back at the temperance movement, we tend to think of it as a conservative in nature. And this really wasn't the case, though. The movement looked to help out the working class who were hardest hit by the problems of alcohol. The problem was that they made one very common mistake. They never asked what the people they were trying to help actually wanted.
I mean, pretty sure asking people who drink too much poison what's best for them is a bad idea. But whatever, Cecil, you were saying, it's your essay. Go ahead, man.
I love that Eli cannot resist instinctively siding with the militant school marms, right?
I grew up in Mothers Against Drug Driving meetings. What can I say?
okay. And one more quick question. Do you drink at all?
Yeah, of course.
Good. And about how many drinks do you have in a week?
A work week? Is that what you mean?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Oh, I mean, no more than usual. I'd say 25, 30, just enough to stay sharp on the job. Standard amount.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Good. Just one more quick question here for your intake form. It says you're here because you think you vomited up your liver yesterday. Now, did you save it on ice?
I did save it on ice. Yep. But then I ran out of ice in my drink, so I guess I didn't.
Of course.
Save it on ice the whole
Priorities.
time.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm gonna be okay though, right? That's
no,
fine.
heavens, no. I can't believe you're still standing here talking to me. No, it's absolutely not.
Oh, right. So I guess no reason to quit now.
Absolutely not.
Great. Cheers.
Cheers.
That was real audio of every doctor's visit in Heath and I's hometown. Fun fact. Had to put a ducky with a mic in it.
The nation at this time was swelling with immigrants. These immigrants brought with them a culture of drinking alcohol. These immigrants came from places like Germany and Italy, where beer and wine were part of daily life. And in a lot of ways, while temperance movement had a lot of progressive roots, it would also embrace a very anti-immigration stance.
We can turn anything into xenophobia in America.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking immigrants always taking our American sugars and turning them into fucking communist ethanol with their Dago yeast. Gross.
Many of the people in the temperance movement were white Anglo-Saxon Protestants from rural communities. So there was also an urban versus rural thing going on, as alien as that would seem. The saloons in the city were associated with immigrants and were also reported to be a place where a corrupt politician could trade away some beverages for a vote.
That's ridiculous. Although, I guess to get millennials to vote, you need to trade stamps. That's
stamps. Yeah. Wow, a powerful teetotaler in power who blames immigrants for voter fraud. How far we've come in 100 years.
All right, so tell us, Cecil, how did turn-of-the-century Noah and Eli find the Mike Pence for the job?
Wait, what?
Even though the temperance movement was a growing political force, there wasn't enough steam to actually enact prohibition.
Right, because they wouldn't put any ethanol in their engines, So.
Yeah. Temperance needed a couple of things to fall into place before it became an amendment. And they weren't going to settle for anything less than a change in the Constitution. And this is something that I think might be one of the biggest factors in the downfall of the teetotalers and the prohibition in general, the ability to compromise. And if they had, we might still be talking about how that one time back in the day, you didn't need a prescription for bourbon.
But we'd still have assault rifles over the counter.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Meanwhile, my Morgellons chronic fatigue celiac spoon deficiency is really flaring up. Oh, man, we are one alternate universe away from Heath being that douchebag friend who tells you weed cures cancer, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's just waving scotch in your face. Glaucoma. Glaucoma.
So the first thing to fall into place was the passage of the 16th Amendment. And this is the income tax amendment. With the addition of this revenue stream, the United States government could actually afford prohibition. The second piece was World War I. And like I said earlier, there was this anti-immigration thread that really held this prohibition tapestry together. So war with one of those immigrant cultures really sped things up.
Yeah, so in case you were wondering what the downside of World War I is, here you go.
And I just want to talk about something wacky here. One of the anti-German sentiments at the time was against dachshunds for some reason.
Oh, jeez.
I heard it reported that people would just kill them, and
dogs?
some people also renamed dachshunds Liberty Hounds just to stick it to the Kaiser, I guess. Like, that's amazing.
Oh, all of America in perfect summary. We hated Germans for no reason, so we killed and renamed dogs for less reason.
Well, I mean, Liberty Hound never caught on, but we do still call them wiener dogs, so it's not like we ever really got over it.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome to Zeno's. Would you like to try the hate plate? It's a wiener dog and freedom fries.
Yeah, right.
So this wedge issue was also well orchestrated by a temperance movement that was becoming something of a political powerhouse in its own right. The Anti-Saloon League was a powerful temperance-oriented political association that could really make or break a political campaign. These swing voters would vote for any dry politician. And women started to become a lot more politically active in this movement too, sometimes staging prayer circles outside saloons and blocking doors in acts of civil disobedience.
Okay, see, this is why Ellen DeGeneres has no business backing up Kevin Hart. Like, it's not your thing. It's about men and drinking. Stay in your lane. What the fuck?
So,
what did I mean by that? Can we rewind that? I got lost. Edit. I think I meant some of that.
edit.
I meant the good part. There was some good part in there.
There's no good parts.
I meant
It's all
the good
bad
part or zero if there were no good parts.
Who
All right,
has
zero it
feedback
is.
for us? Anyone? Just tweet it
What
out.
do you guys think about Kevin Hart and Ellen DeGeneres? You guys say.
I'm here to listen.
Cowards. Nothing. Okay.
So back to the essay here. So the amendment passes on January 16th, 1919, when it's ratified by 36 of the 48 states. 2 states rejected the amendment, Connecticut and Rhode Island. In October, President Woodrow Wilson vetoed the amendment, but both the House and the Senate would override his veto, and they created legislation on prohibition called the Volstead Act.
Overrided his veto. Just a quick reminder, there was a time when Congress could accomplish things. They were the wrong things, but still they were things.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us, Cecil, what was the Volkswagen hack?
So the Volstead Act was it was kind of weird. It regulated sale and manufacture of alcohol, but not consumption of it. It provided that, quote, no person shall manufacture, sell, barter, transport, import, export, deliver, or furnish any intoxicating liquor except as authorized by this act, unquote.
Did not say drink.
Yeah. And the liquor authorized was that for industrial purposes like dyes and fuel, as well as for religious purposes.
And then all of a sudden, every store in New York City, it's also a tapestry coloring business somehow, and a gas station, and Our Lady of Angostura Bitters, the church somehow.
Well, see, I like to imagine that one alcoholic Catholic during Prohibition who didn't know where the speakeasy was, so he just like snuck back into the communion line over and over again in different disguises.
This is my blood, triple distilled and purified for your pleasure. Take, drink, and black out in remembrance of me.
Prohibition went into effect exactly 1 year after it was ratified on January 16th, 1920. And things looked bleak for the alcohol consumers in the United States. The teetotalers were pushing for an amendment because they knew how hard it would be to repeal it. One senator, Morris Shepherd, said, quote, there is as much chance of repealing the 18th Amendment as there is for a hummingbird to fly to the planet Mars with the Washington Monument tied to its tail, end quote.
Suck it.
Yeah.
Made it happen.
They had a year before the law went into effect. Is that like, was like a national challenge just to see how much alcohol in that year you could hoard in your house?
Yeah. Yes,
That's
it
what
was.
Warren Harding did that, I heard.
Yes.
The president, he like took all, he had like a mansion full of alcohol, and like
Yeah,
the
he
day
did.
before it happened, he was like, all right, this all goes to the White House now because I can't
did.
transport it at that point.
Who isn't doing that? Who's not like, well, alcohol futures are looking up? Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, if how fast Heath jumps on his cues after 8 p.m. is any indication, I've got a telescope to buy. So let's take a quick break for a little ditty we like to call Apropos of Nothing.
You are. You did. Q. You, what? Ellen DeGeneres.
Gentlemen, thank you for coming to the first alcohol, tobacco, sex, and gambling free meeting of the League of Gentlemen.
That's good.
So,
So.
No, never mind.
No, what? What?
Nothing. I was going to say that you guys, you already know.
cool.
Hey, what about... Nah. Nope. Can't. Not gonna.
You guys want to drink shoe polish?
Shoe polish.
Yes,
I'm in.
I
Yep.
would like that.
God.
Already drinking it. It's done. Sorry.
And we're back. When we left off, America faced a future where nobody ever ate at White Castle. Tell us, Cecil, what happened next?
So when Prohibition starts, the enforcement of the law is actually a problem. See, there's no funding for it. So states and the federal government push the responsibility for it back and forth. In 1920, there were a total of 1,500 agents tasked with the enforcement for the country. And we had a population of 106 million at the time.
Oh, Jesus.
Shotgun Utah. I call it Utah.
Too late.
It's too fast.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Eli broke your Utah.
Wow, making it illegal for one or more hydroxyl groups to attach to a carbon atom was tough to enforce. I guess you can't plan for everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Immediately, people tried to bend and break the law, too. Prescriptions for medicinal alcohol skyrocketed. People used the loophole regarding religion and became religious leaders like rabbis. The amount of sacramental wine increased dramatically. There were also people illegally making and importing alcohol into the country.
Just like old-timey, tweaked-out Jesse Pinkman trying to buy 20 bags of yeast at 20 different supermarkets.
I like bread.
Making some matzah, stupid.
Becoming Jewish right before World War II. This plan has no downsides. The alcohol.
Yeah, right. I love the idea of some guy desperately leafing through a list of diseases looking for one with booze in it. Like, Doc, I'm pretty sure I have fetal alcohol.
The business of importing or making liquor was highly profitable, and there was a huge market for the sale of bootlegged alcohol. There were some really big names in crime that got very rich running bootlegging operations. Al Capone and Lucky Luciano both made a fortune running illegal booze. A few people on the other side of the law also saw the profitability of bootlegging and started their own enterprises. Former police officer Roy Olmsted from Seattle and distinguished lawyer George Remus from Cincinnati were also running huge bootlegging enterprises.
Okay, I feel like George Remus might have just been stocking up for when Heath got there.
Just like, all right, sir, we've done it. We've made this thing nearly everyone wants illegal now. This will certainly make people not want it now. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing there?
Nothing. No, I'm not doing anything.
I feel like you're bootlegging right now. Are you bootlegging right now?
No, I'm not.
You're bootlegging right now while we're talking about it. You're bootlegging. I can see
it's just I'm not. No.
Yes, you are. You're bootlegging right now. We just passed the law. We haven't even invented the word bootlegging, and it's great. Somehow you're doing that verb. You're bootlegging right in front of me. It doesn't even exist as a word yet.
No. No.
I just saw you.
So 3 bottles?
4 would be great.
Fine choice.
Thank you.
Fine choice.
4 more. I'm done.
At this time, there's also the emergence of the speakeasy. This is basically a place where you went to illegally buy and drink alcohol. This became a very different place than the pre-prohibition saloons. Women were attending these speakeasies and drinking in public right alongside the men.
Just a small town. Get the fuck off the stage. What? Song doesn't even exist yet. I already hate it. I hate you. Fuck you.
Here's a Golden Globe. So tell us, Cecil, what does the government do about this? Release a bunch of cobras into the speakeasies? Take us through
I'm
this.
at it with these motherfucking snakes and these motherfucking speakeasies.
Kind of actually, Eli, they do. The government fights back against these lawbreakers by poisoning industrial alcohol. You see, bootleggers would sometimes use industrial alcohol to make drinkable alcohol. So the government just filled it with poison. And the article says that, quote, as many as 10,000 people died from drinking denatured alcohol before Prohibition ended.
I'd like Noah to take back the laugh he just left out. Not funny.
Very serious.
The leader of the Anti-Saloon League, this guy was one of the people who helped craft the Volstead Act, said, quote, the government is under no obligation to furnish people with alcohol that is drinkable when the Constitution prohibits it. The person who drinks this industrial alcohol is a deliberate suicide, end quote.
Okay. What? Still safer than the water in Flint.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
It's true.
It's fucking human paraquat. Okay, when you reach, sure, he's dead, but at least he isn't drunk, you've lost the thread.
So, yeah. A couple of other interesting asides in this story. The Ku Klux Klan was for prohibition and threatened violators of the law with vigilante justice.
See?
And
I'm on the good team.
Wait, what? Also, the stock car had its origins as a moonshine running vehicle during this time. They tried to make the car look as close to original as possible while tricking it out so it could outrun the police. And I can't help but think these two have to be related somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the criminals and the cops were both stupid. So, number one strategy, nothing but left turns.
Let's see, the KKK and the stock car races. I just watched both for the fires.
All right, so Prohibition gave us NASCAR and the KKK. Anything good come from this, Cecil? Any benefits?
Well, after several years of this experiment, it started to see some positive and negative results. The positives were first seen in the early years. Mostly, these were related to health and society.
Blah, 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 boo, nerds. Health, blah, 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 blah. That's what you sound like. Blah, blah, health, blah, blah. Boo.
So the health and society piece here is less absenteeism, fewer cases of alcohol-based diseases, and fewer workplace accidents due to alcohol. These numbers, even before Prohibition ended, would eventually rise, but at the start of it, things looked promising. Wikipedia also lists this fucking Judgy McJudgerson comment under positives, quote, a superior moral tone, end quote. Whatever the fuck that means.
Fuck you. Okay. I don't want to get all Heath Friedman on the land here, but I'm pretty sure letting people put stuff in their bodies if they want to is morally superior.
Okay. Well, if the listeners knew what you had in your rectum right now, they'd be slower to nod along.
That's fair.
Is my rectum being detained? Is it?
Mine is, because super glue is a part of that equation. It's a whole bet thing. I don't want to get into it.
Some of the numbers on this are pretty astounding. This quote from Wikipedia is from Harvard professor Mike H. Moore. Quote, alcohol consumption declined dramatically during Prohibition. Cirrhosis death rates for men were 29.5 per 100,000 in 1911 and 10.7 in 1929. Admissions to state mental hospitals for alcoholic psychosis declined from 10.1 per 100,000 in 1919 to 4.7 in 1928.
Whatever. That's 5 people. The mental hospital can't fit 5 more people in their fucking cage. Come on. Dia. 5 people. You're fine.
Arrests for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct declined 50% between 1916 and 1922. For the population as a whole, the best estimates are that consumption of alcohol declined by 30% to 50%, end quote.
Oh, still waiting for the positive.
Yeah.
Sounds like a world I want to live in.
So, Cecil, I hate to be the Noah in a previous episode, but Prohibition sounds like a massive success.
There were some
Fuck
negatives.
you.
There were some negatives.
Yeah. I would imagine there would be. Maybe the death of joy, happiness was gone. Was that listed as a negative? Was that a negative, Cecil? No more happiness?
I guess that might be for some people that are angry drunks. Yeah, I imagine.
We're all relaxed.
Raging
We're all relaxed.
alcoholics.
The first was that people just broke the fucking law. People drank in speakeasies. They had their own stills. They bought bootleg liquor, and all this money and merchandise went untaxed. And people who were running criminal enterprise were raking in the cash. Hell, one of the guys that championed this cause that I mentioned earlier, Morris Shepard, they found a still on his property that could produce 130 gallons of moonshine per day.
That's amazing.
Jesus.
This guy should have his face on T-shirts from The Gap at this point. Like, fuck Che Guevara, communist revolution. Nah. Fuck you. Morris Shepard is a goddamn hero.
Oh, shit.
130 gallons a day?
So fucking
What?
weird. It's almost as if like creating a black market for something that people have been doing for thousands of years only serves to drive supply underground and create a more dangerous and less regulated environment for that self-same product. I'm glad we've learned this little history lesson. I want to repeat that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying there aren't negatives, Cecil. I'm just still waiting for them.
So near the end of Prohibition, the government was in the midst of the Great Depression and seriously needed the revenue from taxes and jobs that would come with legalized liquor. FDR ran on a campaign that promised to repeal the amendment and won handily.
Indeed.
The 21st Amendment, which repealed the 18th, was introduced in February, about a month after FDR was inaugurated, and it was ratified in December of that same year.
But just for the fucking money? Like, that's just it. Like, I love that the health effects were like massive and measured and like consumption was down and all. And you're just like, fuck it. I just want the money back. That's what we wanted. Were all of our morals for sale at the time, too?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Like, what do we either care or we don't?
And that's the story. So tell us, Cecil, what did we learn today?
Well, a couple of interesting observations. The first is that there is a lot more regulations that people follow on alcohol now that it's legal than they did when Prohibition was the law of the land. There are plenty of places where you can't get liquor after a certain time or on a certain day of the week. And hell, there's even dry counties. But even though those are restrictions, people pretty much obey the laws.
Yeah, but the laws in Utah are fucking crazy. When we did a live show in Salt Lake City, I asked the sound guy at the venue where to find a liquor store. And he was like, do you have a passport and a strong essay? It needs to be pretty like strong. Do you have a waxen seal of the monarchy? No? Okay. Oh, that's going to be tricky. Don't worry, though. Okay, there's
There's actually like a gun show loophole type thing. I can sell you a bottle from the whiskey soda machine that's built into the back of my truck. But no, you can't just buy it at a store like a fucking savage. There are rules. That's what actually happened. And he like sold me an entire bottle of whiskey from his personal soda machine. It was really weird.
The least believable thing is that he just sold you one bottle of whiskey.
This whole fucking story is just like, it's just America perfectly. Like, you can have as much freedom as you want. Oh, whoa, holy shit. Okay. Nope, no freedom at all. No, oh God, that's worse. Okay. You can have some freedoms, but only when I say so. Yeah. We're a bunch of fucking 8-year-old kids trying to cram all our Halloween candy in our mouth in one bite. So much fun. I love doing that.
Another aside here, women played a huge role in both Prohibition and the repeal.
Is that because they're most of the people?
Silly, no, they're not people. They're women. It said right in the essay.
They were a large part of the temperance movement and helped pass the amendment. And then later, women came out against the movement, like Pauline Sabin, who was once a Republican Party official that eventually used her influence to help get FDR elected because of his stance on prohibition.
I get it. Whiskey dick is both a curse and a blessing.
This whole fucking back and forth is just like the legislative version of like a little to the left or more. No, too much. Put it back.
Yes.
We eventually gave women the vote so they could get rid of prohibition and help.
That's awesome. Yeah. And finally, I want to point out that some people really liked prohibition. The article says that in the late 30s, quote, after its repeal, 2/5 of Americans wish to reinstate national prohibition, end quote. And that, quote, in 2014, a CNN nationwide poll found that 18% of Americans believe that drinking should be illegal, end quote.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Narcs.
And if you had to summarize what you learned in one sentence, what would it be?
Why stop now? Let's keep blaming women, guys. We can keep doing this.
Way ahead of you, Cecil. Ellen had no business defending Kevin Hart.
Thank you.
Are you ready for the quiz?
Wait, what did I say? Did I say that?
Called back to it now, so you said it.
Yellow with anticipation or cirrhosis. I'm not sure.
All right, I got one for you here. When you consider prohibition in its totality, Cecil, it's clear that the temperance movement was addressing very real problems, many of which were alleviated not by banning alcohol, but by figuratively taking away America's PlayStation until we proved that we were mature enough to have it back. All right, so given that takeaway, what other national policies might we consider enacting? A, explaining to death row inmates that this will hurt us more than it hurts them. B, drawing a line through Texas and letting the immigrants have the left half if they keep it clean. C, making duplicitous politicians write their campaign promises on the board 50 times. Or D, literally taking away America's PlayStation until we prove that we're mature enough to have it back.
I'm going to go with secret answer E. We should all be spanked until we're sorry by British dominatrixes. I have no idea what that has to do with your question, but that's definitely the answer.
Yeah, no, I don't either, but that is what I wrote down for the correct answer. So I guess you're right. Well done.
Another vote for E.
All right, Cecil. Prohibition works great, which is why no one buys sex or drugs, and the countries that just regulate these things are obviously failing. So to prove my point, out of the countries below, which has the highest rate of drug addiction? A, Portugal. B, the Netherlands. C, the United States. Or D, definitely the United States.
I'm going to go with secret answer E. Mexico is failing because they have to GoFundMe our wall for us, I
guess. Sure.
Well done. Okay, Cecil, which of the following is the most obvious downside to having another prohibition? A, Heath will stab you. B, you're murdering babies before they're even conceived by accident in a beautiful family. Or C, Heath will stab you again.
I'm going to go with A. I've been trying to get Heath to stab me for years, but he won't swipe right. He just won't swipe right.
Oh, yes, he will.
There should be like a prohibition museum with just like piles of tiny little shoes from the kids who never got conceived by drunken accident. That's important. Never forget.
All right. Well, Heath made the first Holocaust / 9/11 joke, which means that this week's winner is Noah.
And it also means that I'm going to pick Heath for next week's essayist.
Congratulations to me.
That's how it works. All right. Well, for Cecil, Tom, Noah, and Heath, I'm Eli. Thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week. And by then, Heath will be an expert on something else.
Damn right.
Between now and then, you can hear Heath and I on our fitness show, Waking Up Counts as a Sit-Up. And of course, you can listen to Noah, Cecil, and Tom on their show, Old Guys with a Cat. If you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod. Or why not leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can? And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes, be sure to check out patreon.com/citationpod.
Guys, I think that shoe polish might actually be poison. I think it has poison in it.
Yeah. You guys want to stop drinking it and talk about the weather?
No, more shoe polish. Shoe polish. I'll take seconds.
I finished it.
Damn it.
Man.
That one hit Heath of a telly.
You need to leave this out.
There's a reason you're single, buddy.
I'm serious. I'm fucking serious. You need to leave this out.
I'll fucking kill you.
Just put that, Cecil, just put that as the outtake. Just see Heath going, I'm fucking serious, man. You need to get this
Yeah,
out.
Heath, it's fine. This one won't come out until next week. You're good.
Cecil?
You're good, dude. You're good.
Cecil?
You're fine, Heath. You're
Cecil?
fine, Heath.
Look into my waveform, Cecil.
Fine,
Look
Heath.
into my waveform.
You're fine, buddy.
Do I sound fucking like I'm joking?
Don't worry about it. You sound a little enraged. I will say that. You sound a little... I think
just
you're
fine.
raging.
You have no love in your life. Fuck you.
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/getstarted. That's GREENLIGHT.com/getstarted.